Hey champions, this is us again. I got another gameplay recording for you. This is a really fun matchup I had against Ian. This was just following up after the game that I had with him, where I was playing as Malik, he was playing as Idiris. We did that best 2 out of 3 and he beat me both times. Afterwards he was kind of asking, hey, can I play against your long deck? See how it fares summoner versus summoner. So I thought this would be a fun game to record, and I'm happy I did, because a lot of cool little moments came out of this. If you are someone who's interested in playing with Long, my biggest word of advice is, like, don't be afraid of the fact that he has no energy reduction. That shouldn't stop you from playing your cards, doing your abilities, because Long doesn't have a lot of aura, and he has to find another way to really optimize his characters without spending too much of his aura every single time. Idris has a little bit more she can play with. That extra 25 really does make a difference, where Long doesn't have that. So curing when you need to, having in a few techniques, like you see the shoulder throw in my memories there, having things like that, anything that can help you win the game that doesn't cost aura is definitely something to consider. That in mind, I don't really run a lot of bolt shots. That's up to you. Bolt shots is a phenomenal card, but at my 7G level, I don't know how much I would run bolt shots over Brooks or Guardians of Balances. So first round, just creating that army, nothing too intense. Idris throws a fireball my way. Especially if you're playing against someone who has a lot of health, Idris's fireballs are definitely a lot less menacing than they are if you're playing like Rain or Kendra. So with Long, I don't try to protect myself too much. I'm okay with taking the damage. It really comes down to, can I keep my summons alive? If he had thrown that fireball at Scorpion, I definitely would have been a little bit more worried. But him throwing it at Long definitely doesn't worry me as much. There's a lot to consider in this moment with my Giant Scorpion. I can go after his Hound and just remove that turn from the entire round, which is definitely advantageous. I could try going after Idris to knock her down a little bit. Scorpion does have a lot of health right now, so it can absorb a little bit before dying. So I could go after Idris to help take out some of that damage, or I can go after his Scorpion, which I know in the long run will cause me a lot of grief. So there's a lot to consider, even this early on in the game. So in the end, I end up going after the Scorpion. It retaliates back. Just like the previous game, if you don't have a need to retaliate back right away, I don't recommend doing it. Get the full turn. Get the opportunity to make some considerations and wait for things to play out before making any moves, right? But he did what he did. The Hound ended up hitting the Scorpion for 2. That's definitely a bit of a waste on my end. I should have found a way to protect the Scorpion, but can't go back in time. And that sideswipe kills out the Scorpion. But something to note here is that he had to use all 3 of his turns just to kill off that one Scorpion. That's one of the biggest advantages Long has here, is that he doesn't have to... how do I put this? Like, his one summon definitely feels like facing off against champion. He makes every summon threatening. So I'm taking into the third round. I don't have a whole lot going for me here, but and he is still sitting on that Scorpion. Finding a way to destroy that Scorpion would definitely be widely advantageous right now. So he's moving back, throwing the fireballs, hitting with the scorpion. He's definitely getting the range assist that he had against my Malik deck. This is definitely a painful deck to face off against, because no matter where you go, they're going to be able to hit you, and that's super annoying. So, kind of like what I was saying earlier, with long, you have to consider the fact that taking damage isn't the end of the world. You got to be able to make those sacrifices to get the upper hand in a given situation. He's a lot more about sacrificing for the right causes. Sacrifice your health, sacrifice your timeline. Like just curing this hound. Normally I would laugh at people who would cure a hound, but in this situation it gives me a decently sized summon that I can now start chasing down my opponent with. And having that extra turn every single round is definitely very, very useful to have. Again, like I was saying, having those extra turns, being able to force my opponent to make a decision early is good, because then I'm not making a play and losing a lot. A lot of people say that going first has a lot of advantages, but it's about going first and learning how to play into those advantages, because most of the time going second is more advantageous. Sometimes all you need is that extra breathing space to say, I want to take a turn here, to just wait and see what my opponent's going to do. You can't always be on the aggressive, and you'll see in a few seconds, but you have to wait for the right opportunities, especially if you're playing with Long, because yes, every creature you can cure them, you can give them make them a powerhouse, but you're also investing a lot into them. And as you see here, like if I had played that Burrock, the double meteorite would have killed it off. So I'm really happy I held on to it and been able to sustain, right? But now I'm at a risk zone. I'm playing against Idiris and I have 2 health remaining. There's not a whole lot I should be able to do in a situation like this. But my advice, always play to the end. Don't give up just because it looks dire. So playing that defensive practice, bringing me down to 1 health. I'm really happy I did that and I didn't just take the damage, because sometimes all you need to do is just see and fight till the very end. So Burrock hits the table now after the meteorite, knowing that there's not a whole lot he can do against it. Dropping it, curing it, because I know it's going to be my biggest investment coming out, to give me the advantage right now. Word of warning here, if you're going to use aura cards to keep track of your aura, have a good system for it. In the heat of battle, it's really easy to forget where your aura rests. Mind you, I'm still at 1 health here, he's at 9. But Guardian of Balance hitting the table really awesome at this moment. Because I'm going first in each round, I can optimize the Day of Peace before my opponent even gets the chance to kind of run from it, and respond to the Day of Peace by attacking with the Brook, hitting him for 4, and now stopping the round, basically. Making it that he can't kill me even though I'm 1 health. Giant Scorpion hitting the table. The advantage of placing the Giant Scorpion there is because I really want to block him in. I don't want him to be able to get close to me and come in for hand-to-hand combat. Because playing against Idiris, you can bet she has things like side swipes or rampage sauces, etc. This is a really challenging situation for Ian to be in, because he's now facing down an army, no more meteorites, and all he has to do is hit me for 1, which should be an easy task for Idiris to do. But he needs to do that before I hit him for the 5. And that's probably the biggest challenge right now. So there's 2 options I had here. I needed to get something in close to hit him. I could have come to the side of Guardian Balance and Rampage toss that, but then I would have to wait for Guardian Balance's turn to do the attack. But being able to target my Giant Scorpion here, during my end phase, during my turn, I can trigger the stack and have Giant Scorpion attack for the 3, which is wildly advantageous because I need speed right now. That's the biggest thing. I need to be able to put the pressure and do as much damage before my opponent can respond to anything. So that's what I'm just describing there. Like during my end phase, I'm attacking with the Giant Scorpion, hitting Idiris for the 3, which he responds with the Rejuvenating Springs. If he didn't do that, I would have easily had game right now. But he's able to heal for the 3, countering the attack from the Giant Scorpion. But still, I have the pressure that I can put on him, and as long as I don't get hit for the 1, I've got this game more or less. So he slings a fireball at me, and I'm able to have the defense. Keeping with 1 health, he just ends his turn. Burr comes in and attacks for the 4. And he has nothing. I could have come in at the end of the previous round to smack with the Guardian of Balance, but that's game right there. And I'm just describing, it was really good that I had the Giant Scorpion there to prevent him from being able to hit me in hand-to-hand combat. But that's game. I hope you enjoyed. If you want to see my long deck list, leave a comment below and I will put that together and I will post it somewhere. But that's it for this game. Enjoy. Bye.